successful series Friends first hit our screens. And many hardcore fans marked the anniversary at, where else? Central Perk. That, of course, is the coffee shop where Rachel, Ross and the other much-loved characters would catch up. A pop-up replica in New York drawing many locals, tourists and even some of the cast.
I'm just excited. It's really cool. I mean, what they've done with this place, you guys are going to love it. They got all the sets there. You get to like take selfies on the couch. It's just fantastic. It's kind of surreal, but it's also in the same neighborhood, you know. So this is the Fringe universe come to life right here.
We have like 1,000 people coming in and out of the pop-up because we're rotating it all day long and we're open till 8 o'clock. So make sure you come on down. We're here till the 18th of October.
You heard him, you've got a few more weeks to make it. Right, now it's time for Focus. Today we head to Thailand, which is at the centre of a controversial business worth hundreds of millions of dollars each year, surrogacy. Some parts of the country are even dubbed baby farms. Now, though, with a few disturbing high-profile cases, like the Australian couple accused of abandoning a child with Down syndrome, the authorities are cracking down on an industry that's flourished in the absence of rules and regulations. France 24's Cyril Payen sent us this report.
We're in the heart of Bangkok's financial district. Just a few weeks ago, this high-end building housed one of the most famous assisted reproduction clinics in the city. A successful private practice that has suddenly disappeared off the radar.
Hello, can we come in?
No, it's closed.
There is no one there who can talk to us?
Yes. No, I can't answer. It's closed.
Clinics like this one have been thrust into the spotlight after the uncovering of dubious practices that have taken advantage of legal loopholes in the country. A Japanese billionaire was able to father 9 of the 15 infants born through this single institution. But why and how has Thailand become this veritable baby factory? The issue is sensitive and has left the authorities at a loss of how to deal with it, especially since police uncovered an organized ring of surrogate mothers.
Why do you think so many Thai young women, they want to be surrogate?
Well, you know, these girls have realized that they can make lots of money in just a few months. So it's a lot of temptation for them, and I think it's hard to resist.
The international business of surrogacy is worth hundreds of millions of euros a year, and Thailand is the hub, a hotbed of surrogate mothers whose newborns end up around the world. In search of the source, we head to the far north of Thailand, to the poor countryside on the border with Burma and Laos. The village of Pak Ork has been given the nickname the Baby Farm. Miss Panada was born here, but unlike most of her childhood friends, she is one of the few not to have succumbed to the temptation of surrogacy.
It's a sin. These babies are their flesh. I don't understand how they have been able to stray so far morally. I know them all. They will regret it one day.
There appears to be a code of silence in the village. Most houses in one local hamlet here are empty, home to no fewer than 22 surrogate mothers to 20 families. They have since fled or are in hiding after being alerted by their agents in Bangkok to the growing scandal over surrogate parenting. We have to go to the pagoda to find one of the few people who will agree to broach the subject.
I'm a monk, a religious person, so I have nothing to fear from the truth. And the truth is that everyone here is involved, one way or the other. The rich and powerful, everyone. I'm not afraid to say it. The police, the doctors, they're all involved in this immoral human trafficking.
Indeed, this is what investigators fear, that there are many, many people with their fingers in this murky industry.
One of the problems in Thailand is try to make the law, or law enforcement is sometimes a problem. But anyhow, I think it's a good starting point, that at least we make it clear. Nobody can say that, well, Thailand is the land that is the place where surrogacy is freely done.
Back in Pak Ork, the baby farm of northern Thailand, we were tipped off on where to find a surrogate mother.
That's her? All right, let's go.
This 24-year-old gave birth in Bangkok 2 months ago in the since-closed IVF clinic. Her pregnancy earned her 7,000 euros, and the baby was delivered to a couple in Germany.
I've done a good deed for foreigners who couldn't have children. I see nothing wrong with it. It's a good job. What bothers me is when I hear that there are people who earn a lot of money abroad through our bellies. Afterwards, when there's a problem, surrogate mothers like me, they have to hide like criminals. It's not fair.
The surrogate scandal will probably push the government here to pass new laws, reducing surrogacy parenting and drying up a major source of income in the countryside.
Now, for more on this story, I'm joined on set by Claire de la Hougue, a French lawyer who's written a report on surrogacy that was presented to the Council of Europe in 2012. Hello, thanks very much for coming in. I'd like to start off by talking about the particular case of Thailand. How did it find itself at the centre of such a lucrative and controversial industry?
Well, with the development of medicine in Thailand, even the government encouraged medical tourism. And finally, they found, clinics found this way of making a lot of money with reproductive tourism, IVF first and then surrogacy.
Now, though, the military junta is cracking down, as we saw in the report. They're shutting down certain clinics and they're going to try and enforce the law and come up with new regulations. Are you encouraged by the moves they've made so far?
Well, it's very good that governments take this issue now seriously. But it's very difficult for them to act and to pass laws and to enforce the laws then. And we can also see that in India. There is a bill, they have been trying to pass a bill for about 3 years, and it's still a bill.
Why is that? Why is it so hard to enforce?
Well, because there's so much money behind. It's said that it's a market of about $2 billion reproductive tourism in India alone. So many people are interested in it. And of course don't want this bill to become a law.
And why is it that we're seeing this in India and in Thailand? Is it a particular problem for Asia then?
Well, it developed a lot in Asia, certainly. It exists in other places, but it became more an industry in Asia, yes.
And what about countries that actually set an example when it comes to rules and regulations? Which ones are?
Well, rules and regulations will never be enough for surrogacy, because in surrogacy, the object of a contract is the child. So you can give or sell the child as if you owned a child. In itself, it's contrary to human dignity. And it's also contrary to the human dignity of the mother, the surrogate mother. She's used as an instrument to make a child, like an incubator. And so it's contrary to her dignity. And if you see, even in countries where it's legal, for example, in the UK, surrogacy is legal, but many British citizens go to India because either they don't qualify according to the British criteria of the law, or they don't find a surrogate mother, so they go somewhere else where it's cheaper and where they can pay, because in Britain it's not allowed, supposedly, for money. So they go somewhere else where they can find a surrogate and pay.
So your view is that surrogacy, it's not a lack of regulation that is the issue, it's surrogacy itself. No matter how much you regulate it, there's a problem. You don't think that consenting adults, the woman carrying the baby and the couple who want the baby, could make a deal?
Well, in a way the woman maybe, but there is the baby. And the baby is an object transferred from the woman who bears the baby, and to the couple or single person who is receiving the baby. But then this baby has got a carrier mother, if I may say, a genetic mother, the one who gave her eggs, because in most cases you have an egg donation, and a donation, of course, is bought. The eggs are bought, and you know, in India you pay 3 times more if the egg donor is white rather than Indian. Or in the States, you choose your egg donor on a catalogue with photos and according to her academic level and her health and color, hair color, eyes color, and everything. So you choose if you want.
That's perhaps taking it a little bit far when you've got US actresses who probably just don't want to see their body change, and so they choose for someone else to carry the child. I think, you know, in certain cases that's fair enough then to think that that's taking it a bit far. But what about a couple who simply wants to have a child and can't? You don't think they should be resorting to this?
Well, there is a problem because of course, you can understand the suffering and the distress of those couples because it's a very, very painful event. But the problem is, if you open the door, well, first the problem is that there is this child who is treated as an object, even if the parents love him very much, even if all the conditions you want, this child is given or sold. But even if it's given, you can give only something you own.
And what do you make of the situation in France? Because it got a slap on the wrist from the European Court of Human Rights, but now children have to be recognised here, and yet surrogacy isn't allowed.
Yes, well, it's the European Court did not oblige France to recognize surrogacy, but in fact, yes, to recognize the parentage of the person. In the two cases at issue, the father was the genetic father of the child. So the European Court obliged France to recognize that the father was really was legally the father of the children, but he was also biologically the father of the children. But at the same time, there is the negation of the mother side. And who is the mother of those children? The one who gave her eggs, the one who carried them, the one who breeds them. There is a real problem of identity for the children, and we'll have that problem later. In 20 years, we'll have problems with these children who are going to say, well, what did you do with us? And where are our identity?
Okay, I'm afraid we've run out of time. Thank you very much, though, for coming in
Thank you.
Focus, Claire de la Hougue. Thank you. That's it for Focus, and that's it also for our 2-hour live show. I'll be back, though, in a few minutes with a full news roundup. Do stay tuned to France 24.